my people. Hope everybody's enjoying their weekend. Do me a favor, hit that like button down there. It's down there. And if you do, you'll automatically be entered to win yourself a used kitchen sponge. Also, as usual, make sure you check out dnkknives.com. And if you purchase something from there, use this coupon code BehindTheEdge10 for 10% off. DNK is responsible for quite a lot of the content on this channel, and it is very much appreciated. So we'd like to show them some love as well. Make sure you guys like, subscribe, and if you would like to support the channel, there is a link to Patreon in the description. There will also be a link to DNK as well. So if you would like to support the channel, that would be awesome. Every bit of it, especially as of right now, goes towards getting knives for content. And then I give them away. And I do a lot of Patreon exclusive giveaways. So there you go. Today we're going to talk about 3 knives that are quite interesting. They are also discontinued and no longer available. You can get them on the secondary market. Some are easier to find than others, but they're actually priced pretty decent, well below what they went for brand new on the secondary. 2 of these knives, actually all 3 of these came by way of Satu Dave, my buddy. Awesome dude. So he has a channel as well. If you're interested, go check that out. First will be the Medford knife and tool 187 RMP, which means ramp nose. This is a cool little friggin' knife. And I say little because it's tiny for a Medford, but it is still 3¼ inch blade. You get a full 4-finger grip on it, and it is thick as all get out. It's a monster. And I like this knife. I like it a lot. Medford still makes the 187 line, just not this particular one. They make the full-size 4-inch drop point version and a Tanto version. But this one currently is sunsetted. This used to be a titanium frame lock with a G10 scale. Satu Dave made his own titanium scale, which, as you can tell here, was quite an achievement. He is a machinist by trade, or used to be, so he did an excellent job. And it definitely makes this knife much more stout. Even though nothing's really wrong with the G10, I get it. I'm a fan of full-on titanium. And all 3 of these knives today will be full titanium. This is a beautiful hand-ground, hollow-ground D2 blade. D2, everybody, automatically turns their nose up to D2. I assure you, there is nothing wrong with D2. And this knife is very, very capable and can take just about any punishment you can throw at it. So absolutely nothing wrong with D2. These came in a bunch of different G10 colors, black, coyote. I think I seen a red one time. I'm not exactly sure what all they did, but these are kind of hard to get a hold of. So if you can find one and you like a big, bulky, beefy, fucking freight train of a knife, I recommend looking for one of these to get it. It has an excellent pocket clip. It is a little long, but it's still excellent. It does have a lanyard hole, which is useless to me. Frame lock with no lock bar insert, and it does not need one. None of these knives today have one, and they do not need it. It is on phosphor bronze washers, the way God intended. So this is a hell of a work knife. Excuse me, guys. I'm so sorry. And has pretty decent action for its size and the washers. So if you can find one, I would recommend it. Sorry, I don't know why I have to keep clearing my throat. Next, we have another knife that is American made like this one. That is no longer with us. This is the Bradford Guardian 3 folder. G3F. This is M390, full titanium frame lock, made in America. It is kind of plain. Doesn't have a lot going on as far as style. Kind of reminds you of the Les George VECP knives, in my opinion. Just a little smaller. Just slightly above 3 inches, 3.25. This one is on bearings, I believe, which is fine for a flipper that's quite okay. I do like the grind on this. It's kind of a slicer grind, drop point. You do have some jimping up here that is functional but not aggressive. Only real thing I don't care for on this knife is the pocket clip. It is very shallow, and it is also, I don't know. Don't like the way it looks. It does work fine, goes in and out of the pocket fine. It also isn't touching the... which is a big easy fix. You just take it off and bend it down. Standoff, yeah, just plain old straightforward titanium flipper. These were roughly $400 when they were available. They didn't sell very well, which is surprising for an American-made knife and full titanium by a reputable company. But, you know, I guess that's why they just stopped making folders. It does have the stabilizer, the Hinder stabilizer, which is cool. It does not have the lock bar insert, nor does it need one. Great little knife if you like flipper only. I'm sure Dave will probably make his own clip for this. He will probably put thumb studs on it, and this will be quite an excellent knife if you do those things. But, you know, still a cool knife that is discontinued, and, you know, they probably should have tried a little harder to make it more appealing to the masses. You know, put some inlays in it, dress it up a little bit. It's just, you know, CNC machining, man. It's not that, it's, you know, they could have dressed it up and probably made this a popular design. It is very, very, very well made. There's no internal milling. All these knives are heavy, but that's the way I like them. Next, and the final one is not American made. It is made in Taichung, Taiwan. And this is the Stovepipe. This knife used to belong to me, this exact one. And I'm hoping to put it back in my collection one day. I absolutely freaking love this knife. It is crazy looking. It looks like it is not useful whatsoever. This was designed by David Reinbaum. It was $450. Quite expensive for a Spyderco, but it is full titanium, 20 CV, very deep hollow grind, gorgeous fucking hollow grind, excuse my language, and I mean deep, to a paper thin edge, excellent, excellent cutting geometry. The stock is kind of thick, but it doesn't matter. This will still slice a tomato if you want it to. We do have the full tie back spacer that's kind of inset in the titanium. It's not even with the scales, which I think is a, you know, a neat touch. They could have just made it even. I don't know. I think it's kind of cool. We've got a lot going on here, even though it is very monochromatic. We have a lot of milling and a lot of hot spots. This knife, if you're just holding it, you know, in a closed position, it's nothing but hot spots. It's crazy. But when you're holding it and using it, it is quite good. The ergos are just fine. You still get your 4-finger grip, and it is quite comfortable. Also does not have a lock bar insert, and it does not have an over travel, but it doesn't need one because your clip will keep you from over travel. And same thing with this one. Well, not quite with this one. Just don't push it over too far, dummy. Anyway, great knife. I'm not sure. I don't think this was a flash batch is what Spyderco calls it, where they just make a couple thousand of them and then they throw away the plans for it. I believe it was intended to be along the same lines as their higher end stuff out of Taichung, like the Paisan and the Drunken and the Subvert, which all of those knives are making a comeback. This one isn't quite as expensive as all of those except for the Subvert. But to me, it's quite good, just as good as those. It is small. You have a 2.75 inch blade, but it is all useful, the whole thing. Right there, it's getting a smile where I stropped it. Yeah, unfortunately, that plunge wasn't done perfectly. It could have been done a little better, but it is what it is. Speaking of which, this one needs an edge bad. It is probably the dullest. It's butter knife dull. I'm pushing down quite a bit on that. Medford's quite sharp. So I believe all three of these are absolutely worth going and looking for on the secondary if this is your kind of thing. If you like knives like this, which I do. I enjoy them. I do wish all three of them were a little bigger. This one you can get in a bigger version, just not with this ramp nose. But, you know, let me know in the comments what you guys think about these. You can still get this one here and there. This hasn't been out but, 18 months or so, and they've already stopped making them as far as I can tell. And these are not too hard to find as well. This is going to be the hardest one to find in my opinion, but there is Medford groups on Facebook and stuff that if you put an in search of post out, you'll find one pretty easy. And they did make a lot of these with the Vulcan finish, which is rad as hell looking. So there's options out there for you. All right, guys, that's all I got for you on this one. Again, let me know in the comments what you think about these and 3 knives that you think should have never been discontinued or are definitely worth seeking out on the secondary. I've done a few videos like these before, and I get a lot of good feedback from you guys. Make sure you're nice to each other, love each other, and take care of each other. And as usual, don't be a fucking cunt, because it looks bad. Later.